Is this line even moving?
No.
Put your cheese on, man.
Is that hypoallergenic?
Yep.
Hey, Coach, anything?
Nothing.
CBS Sports presents the Nextel Halftime Report, sponsored by Nextel, nationwide walkie-talkie.
It's halftime here in Jacksonville. The Jaguars lead the Chargers 10-7.
Access Hollywood, late nights at 11:35 on Channel 4.
Getting ready for second half action. The Jaguars leading the Chargers 10-7. Welcome back to Alltel Stadium, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Solomon Wilcox. One of these two teams is finally going to put an end to the losing streak, long ones dating back to last year. We talked about it top of the show in the open. The boost offensively. Jimmy Smith coming back for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
David Boston coming back for San Diego. And man, have they ever played out that storyline nicely in the first half.
Both guys have delivered. Both have 6 receptions in the first half. Both have already gone over 100 yards receiving in this game, and they provided the big play weapons that both of their young quarterbacks need. Byron Leftwich, Drew Brees, they're playing well, but they understand, get the ball in the hand of your playmakers and allow them to make plays.
Well, Leftwich, you and I had not had a chance to see him in person yet. On film, I knew you were very impressed. One half of football in person, are you even more impressed?
I'm even more impressed. I have not been impressed with a rookie quarterback who's a starter since the days of Drew Bledsoe when he came in with the Patriots. He's a guy that has tremendous command and presence in the huddle, and you know what? His players understand that he's the better guy. He provides so much leadership. They know that he understands this offense, and with him, they're going to make big plays and put points on the board.
Well, Jacksonville, big numbers offensively, 246 total yards, but only a 10-7 advantage as they kick it off to Leon Johnson from the 5. Johnson finds a lane, and he is brought down at the 33-yard line by Keith Mitchell on special teams. Offensive leaders so far for San Diego. The numbers, they've been fairly modest. Drew Brees has the touchdown pass. Tomlinson, not that many touches so far on the ground, and David Boston, monster statistics in that first half.
Yeah, if Drew Brees can avoid the mistakes. He's thrown 7 interceptions in the first 4 games this season. So if he can avoid the mistakes, this offense has a chance.
At a 1st and 10, line of scrimmage is the 32. Brees to throw on first down. Finds Eric Parker. Parker with a juke move along that sideline and comes up a yard shy of the first down, and a flag comes in late.
Well, it's so tough to catch up with Parker. They decide to hit him once he's out of bounds. I don't think Donovan Darius tried to. He was coming so fast, couldn't hold up.
Parker, an intelligent second-year receiver out of Tennessee. And it is the face mask penalty called against Jacksonville.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 20, defense. It's a 15-yard penalty. The first down.
Added bonus for the San Diego Chargers, now in Jacksonville territory at the 43-yard line after just 1 play from scrimmage.
And I always say it, the most important possession, one of the most important possessions in the game is the first possession in the second half. This offense, they're going to try to come out, put some points on the board, and try to regain the momentum. You can't give them anything by committing penalties such as this.
1st and 10 for San Diego. A reverse. David Boston. Boston breaking it through a hole and across the 30-yard line. Good block by Drew Brees, getting to the outside.
And one of the things I had questioned with David Boston is how nimble could he be? For a guy who's 240 pounds, but you see he's very quick, has really good feet, and then he can explode once he gets the ball.
13-yard run by Boston, doing a little bit of everything right now for the San Diego Chargers. And a first down from the 29. Early stages, 3rd quarter. Play action. Brees forced out of the pocket. rolling, running himself. And out of bounds. Short scamper by Breeze. It's actually going to be a loss of 1 on the play.
Drew Brees, he's a gutsy football player, had a touchdown reception last week, but look at the block on Donovan Darius clearing the way for David Boston. So Drew Brees has shown that he's not a pretty boy quarterback. He's willing to get dirty and make some plays for his football team, willing to do whatever it takes.
Not sure he's ready for the slash roll just yet, but that was impressive a week ago, going out, catching the football from Tomlinson, and then running it in for the touchdown.
Diving in the dirt.
Here's Tomlinson getting the carry. Stutter step. Tomlinson crosses the 20-yard line. And a block by Lorenzo Neal to spring Tomlinson loose for 12 yards on the ground.
And here in the second half, this is what the Chargers want to do. They want to get Tomlinson more involved in the offense. Running behind the fullback, Lorenzo Neal, kicking out on Aiken O'Dell. Tomlinson reading the block, then exploding down the sideline, moving the chains.
And the line of scrimmage now is the 18-yard line. A new set of downs for San Diego to work with. Chargers looking to take the lead here for the first time today. Double tight end set. It's Peel and the former basketball star Antonio Gates. Fake the pitch. Breeze on the bootleg. Looking to throw. He does. Makes the connection. And loose football. Fight for at the 9-yard line. Jacksonville claims they've got it. Antonio Gates coughing up the football. And a turnover. Oh, what a sequence as San Diego is driving down the field deep into Jacksonville territory.
Yeah, that's what they did not need to happen. Gates, he blocks down, then comes out. Breeze dumps it off to him, but watch after he's hit. He really may have stepped out of bounds, but the ball rolls back toward where the Jacksonville Jaguar makes the recovery.
Here's the question now on the Gates reception. Was his toe out of bounds before the fumble?
Yeah, let's take a look at it right there. I tell you, that's really close. Because if he was out of bounds, then they're going to allow him to keep the ball.
Man, it looked like he just touched the white. Jacksonville takes over with Fred Taylor turning it upfield. And Taylor picks up a couple on first down.
Well, give Jacksonville the credit on defense. They came with the hammer. They made the hit on Antonio Gates and were able to get the football back. You're going to see it again. Take a look at the right foot of Antonio Gates. He slides out. There you see it right there. But I don't know that he stepped out. I don't know that he touched the white.
San Diego decides not to challenge. Maybe they didn't see enough evidence on that video to question it themselves. Leftwich's ball is popped up in the air off of Jimmy Smith. And incomplete for Jacksonville in that first half. Byron Leftwich, 10 of 15, 169 yards. No major mistakes from Leftwich, who threw 3 picks a week ago. Taylor, huge number, 17 for 72 and a touchdown. And Jimmy Smith, there's the balance offensively that Jacksonville had been lacking.
Yeah, the 3 major weapons, the quarterback, the running back, and receiver, all putting up good numbers. And I think it's all because it's a fabulous job by that offensive line in their blocking.
Full receiver set on a 3rd and 6. San Diego crowds the line. They're coming with a rush. Leftwich throws it. It's complete. Jimmy Smith has a Jacksonville first down as he takes a pop from Sammy Davis.
Now, he knew he was going to get hit, and he had to extend his arms out for this ball. He gave up his body because Sammy Davis just come here and look at him hold on to the football and brace himself. Jimmy Smith just making a courageous play for his football team.
Smith, after coming back following the 4-game suspension, there was no doubt in his mind that he would be welcomed back with open arms among his teammates. The question, how would the fans react? They reacted favorably at the beginning of the game. And a 1st and 10. Leftwich, short drop, almost intercepted by Quentin Jammer.
You know, more on Jimmy Smith. He came in and he met with us, and you know, I really have to give him credit for being willing to come in and sit down and talk with us. And he was very adamant. He said, hey, I'm blessed. I'm very fortunate to be able to come back to this football team. He thanked the owner, Wayne Weaver, and many of his teammates and coaches. And you could tell he really needed to be back in football and back with this football team.
As bad as it was publicity-wise, so said Smith, That's how good it was for his life. He needed it at this point in his life, probably to save him to some degree. As Fred Taylor gets devoured in the backfield. Combination of Dingle and Fisk bringing him down, a loss of 4. You see some scores from around the NFL. Very competitive week 5 around the National Football League.
The Chicago Bears bouncing back from that Monday night loss to the Green Bay Packers, beating the Oakland Raiders, and right now the Raiders have to be shaking their heads.
Should have lost last week. San Diego had them up by 14, the Chargers were. 5 minutes to play, and Oakland comes back to win the game in overtime with Sebastian Janikowski. Now a 3rd and 14 as the Jaguars are moving in the wrong direction. Line of scrimmage, the 18-yard line. Out of the shotgun, Leftwich. He'll put some air on it. Down the sideline on a go route to Hatchett. Matthew Hatchett tripped up inside the 40-yard line as Sammy Davis was able to recover and save a score. 45 yards.
Yeah, Hatchett's a veteran player. He beats the jam. You see the swim move. He's a big guy. He throws his hands over the head of Sammy Davis and then just outruns him up the field. And what a well-timed throw by Byron Leftwich, allowing Hatchett to run under the throw and create yards after the catch. In his 6th year, we told you he's a veteran, but he's a big receiver also at 6'3", 200 pounds.
Former Viking, former New York Jet, as Fuamatu Ma'afala checks in for Jacksonville. On the draw play, it's Fu breaking a tackle. Fuamatu Ma'afala on his feet. And a first down run as he brings it across the 30. Able to break 2 tackles on the play and an 11-yard gain.
Now, this is what Sammy Davis will see. A quick fullback. You think he's going to try to run you over? No. He has the footwork and the ability to fake you out and bounce it outside. It's a rare combination for a big man like Chris Fuamatu Ma'afala. Sammy Davis, the rookie, finding out that big backs in this league can still make moves like what we saw in that play.
Davis giving up big yards. Jammer has been thrown at as well. 1st and 10 for the Jaguars. It's Fuamatu Ma'afala, flag down. Fu averaging 8 yards a carry so far today, as just about everybody was involved defensively for San Diego to haul him down. 3-yard gain. Tom White with the penalty.
There's no foul on this play. 2nd down.
So the play stands. And 2nd and about 7 upcoming.
And you know, this Jacksonville Jaguars football team, they're much better than 0-4. In week 1, they lost on the last play of the game to the Carolina Panthers. And last week to the Texans, they lost another game on the final play. So they've been much closer than what their record would indicate.
Taylor in the backfield. Leftwich out of the gun. Leftwich taps, throws. Jimmy Smith over the middle. And a first down for the Jaguars to the 10-yard line as Smith continues to pile up big numbers.
Yeah, and he's getting it done everywhere. Out on the perimeter, going over the middle, making the tough catches. He's not afraid to go over the middle of the field. You know, we talked to him. He said, hey, I feel sort of responsible for this 0-4 record. He said, had I been here, I'm certain that this team wouldn't be struggling. And so that made him even more anxious to make it back and start putting up big numbers like what we see. 137 yards receiving. It's the most since December of 2000.
On a 1st and goal from the 10. Edwards, the motion man. Jacksonville looking to add to its lead. It's Taylor. Driven back. 3 Charger defenders, including Ray Lee Johnson, would have none of it. A 2-yard gain. Coming up Thursday on CBS, critics say Survivor Pearl Islands is entertaining and addictive. This week in a Survivor First, you won't believe what one tribe will steal from the other. Find out on the smash hit Survivor Thursday at 8, 7 Central on CBS.
Well, who's this year's NFL survivor? I really think the Philadelphia Eagles. They got off to such a bad start in those first 2 weeks, and I think they're going to be back to 500 this week. And I think they're going to go on and do some really good things this season. 2nd and goal now. A drive that started out at Jacksonville's 10-yard line. Play action. Leftwich throws against the grain. Incomplete. George Reister, who made a gorgeous catch in that 2nd quarter that was nullified because of pass interference, couldn't haul in this one. There have to be a better pass by Leftwich. He's still learning. Just put a little more air under it, allow him to run under it because he was so wide open.
And a penalty marker, a late flag on the play. Tom White pointing in the direction of Jacksonville.
Holding. Number 72, offense, 10-yard penalty, remains. Second down.
That's Mike Pearson, now in his second year, an aggressive, strong pass blocker out of the University of Florida. Jack Del Rio has seen his team commit 4 penalties here today. And tack on one more. 5th penalty, costing them 55 yards. Second and goal from the 18. Tofield is in the game for Jacksonville. Leftwich looking for it all, floats it. It's caught by Edwards. Touchdown, Jaguars.
You know, sometimes the defense is truly at the mercy of the quarterback. And you can throw the ball like this. When you can throw it in a small area like what Byron Leftwich will do on this throw. He throws it right at the pylon. He allowed Troy Edwards to run under it. He drops it over the head of both defenders where only his guy can get the ball. Just a phenomenal throw and a phenomenal talent is Byron Leftwich.
Extra point, Seth Marler, as Edwards was able to beat 2 safeties in coverage. Kwame Lassiter, Vernon Fox, 11 plays, 90 yards. And it took 5 minutes and 44 seconds off the clock after the Antonio Gates fumble. Let us not forget, San Diego was driving. Gates fumbled it at the Jacksonville 10-yard line.
The extra point is no good. Holding, number 92, offense, 10-yard penalty. We'll replay the try.
Now this will be made a little more interesting as Seth Marler is going to have to do it again. Edwards, I think he's paying off dividends. Guy that was not even on the radar screen of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And he was signed prior to last week's game off the street.
And had a big game last week. And we talked to Jack Del Rio. We said, which of these receivers, you have so many, who's going to play? He said, we're going to play them all. And J.J. Stokes is the guy who's wearing street clothes today who did play last week. And so that tells you Troy Edwards has impressed tremendously.
Extra point, Marler splits the uprights. And Jacksonville taking advantage of a turnover and turning it eventually into 7 points.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Friendly, nonstop service all across the country. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom. Intel Centrino Mobile Technology. And by Castrol GTX High Mileage. It helps older cars feel young again.
Second touchdown for Troy Edwards in as many weeks. An 11-play, 90-yard drive. And Byron Leftwich is now 14 of 21 throwing the football, 253 yards and a touchdown. Jacksonville with the 17-7 lead. 6:39 to play here in the third quarter. Seth Marler will kick it off for the Jaguars. Leon Johnson is deep. Marler's kick will come down at the 11. Johnson breaking to the outside. Flags down, and Johnson walks a tightrope, and he's out of bounds at the 34-yard line. 3 flags come down on that special teams play.
And there's a 4th. He threw another.
Against San Diego, so that run back is negated. It'll be the 4th penalty against the Chargers.
Holding, number 54, during the return. It's a 10-yard penalty. That'll be a first down for San Diego. Timeout.
That's rookie linebacker Stephen Cooper called on the hold. And they will back it up to the 18-yard line. San Diego now in a 10-point hole.
The Florida Gators face a big-time battle in Baton Rouge against Matt Monk and the undefeated LSU Tigers next Saturday on CBS.
Let's show you some of tomorrow's headlines today around the NFL. Packers spoil Holmgren's return. Also big efforts from Randy Moss. 2 more touchdowns. Kansas City still undefeated as they knock off Denver to hand the Broncos their first loss of the year. Play action for Drew Brees. And Brees is tripped up from behind, then covered up as Lionel Barnes got the piece and Paul Spicer touched him up at the end. Loss of 3.
Jacksonville understanding you have to get pressure on the quarterback. They're in that known situation. You got to throw the ball when you're down by 10 points so you can pin your ears back and come after the quarterback.
Second sack of the day for the Jaguars defense. They had just 1 sack in their last 3 games combined. 2nd and 13. Crowd now getting a little more fired up. With the Jaguars in front, 17-7. Breeze steps up. Breeze is thrown down. Marcus Stroud engulfing Drew Brees.
Stroud is one of those talented defensive tackles between the two. Marcus Stroud, John Henderson. He's working against Hallen. He's right here. He'll just come right up the middle. This is that old Reggie White, the bull rush that he's learned. Watch him. He'll just walk him straight back to the quarterback. Breeze never sees him coming. You have to be able to trust your lineman. Hallen filling in for Solomon Page, not getting the job done there.
Breeze had been sacked a total of 4 times this year entering action. He's been sacked 3 times today and now faces a 3rd and 21. And whistles blow.
Play a game. Offense. Equidistance to the goal. Remain. 3rd down.
Play clock had run out on Breeze and the Chargers.
The Jaguars are getting this crowd pumped up. They understand that they have an opportunity to put this game away. And you have to give credit to the defense because they're not looking for the offense to do it. They want to do it right here.
Under 5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. San Diego 2 of 5 on 3rd down conversions. They face 3rd and 24 now. Airing it out. Up in the air and broke it up. Boston in double coverage. Kraft getting a piece of it initially on the front side, and San Diego is forced to punt.
Well, Kraft not only had good coverage at the top one, David Boston, but see, once the ball in the air, see his head, he's playing the football. And look, he times up the jump, going up high for the ball. The only thing there, he didn't make the catch, but just perfect coverage, and that's how you do it. You have to play the ball once it's thrown in the air.
Should be terrific field position for Jacksonville as Bennett is punting out of his own end zone. David Allen standing at the San Diego 49. High punt, not very deep. Allen returnable from the 41. Allen cuts it upfield. David Allen looking to get to the clear. And he's stacked up inside the 20. Darren Bennett able to hold him off. And the Jaguars are going for the jugular. 24-yard return.
That's just a great return by Allen. He hits it, and the crowd is pumped up here in Jacksonville.
17-7, Jags. 3rd quarter.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by FedEx. You can always rely on the ultimate in reliable shipping. Relax, it's FedEx. And by Coors Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Cold, down, easy.
The Chargers came in today, one of just 4 teams in the NFL yet to lose a fumble this season. Well, a fumble by Antonio Gates has set the wheels in motion for Jacksonville. Jaguars took that possession, scored a touchdown, and now looking for more. Fred Taylor. Not much there, a 1-yard gain as the defensive line was ready to turn him back.
His football team is playing hard. Jacksonville, their offensive line, I think it all starts for them up front. As you see, 108 rushing yards, then the protection, 239 yards passing for Jacksonville, over 300 total yards already. It all starts up front with the offensive line. It allows your skilled players to go out and make plays.
2nd and 9 from the 16. Hand it off, it's Taylor again. And the pile is pushed forward in favor of Jacksonville for a 4-yard gain as Fisk and Edwards will be given credit for the stop.
And if you're San Diego right now, you can't lose heart. You're only down by 10, still have a full quarter to play, And so you cannot give up a touchdown here. You have to slam the door shut, deny this Jacksonville offensive football team to get into the end zone, force the field goal, and then come back and play strong in the fourth quarter.
3rd and 5. Jacksonville well on its way to its season average in terms of total yards. Play clock is winding down. On 3rd down, rollout, Leftwich throws. It's complete to Troy Edwards, but short by about a yard and a half, 2 yards of the marker. Sammy Davis able to get over there in a hurry to bring him down. And they will bring on the field goal unit. So the San Diego defense, considering the circumstances, give them credit.
Yeah, Marty has to like the way his defense played on those series of downs. Got to keep them out of the end zone, force the field goal, and then you go back, you talk about it, get the offense out, and say, hey, you guys got to move the football and give the defense a break.
A short one for Seth Marler, who knocked down a 53-yarder at the end of the first half. 27-yard attempt is good. Now Jacksonville is able to add to its lead. Now in front, 20-7, 2:38 left in the third. (20-7), Jacksonville with the lead. Right now they like the pictures that they see. With a 13-point advantage, 2:38 to play in the third quarter. And Jacksonville kicks it off after the Marler field goal. Leon Johnson from the 5. Johnson, there's an opening, shoots through it. And Johnson is brought down short of the 40-yard line by James Trapp on special teams. Coming up tonight here on CBS. Thousands of line of scrimmage is the 38-yard line. Byron Leftwich, let's update you on the numbers. 15 of 22, 256 yards, 1 touchdown. Tim Dwight, the motion man. San Diego needs points in a hurry. They'll try this play that worked in the first half. Boston, his first catch of the second half, loses the football. Oh, what was he thinking? Trying to create, going in the wrong direction, and then losing grip of the football as he gives it away. Jacksonville's got it. Rob Meyer on the recovery.
Yeah, you asked what was he thinking. I guarantee he was thinking, I gotta make a play. They call his number, he runs backwards, he doesn't get it up the field, and then he doesn't protect the football. And that's the play that the Jacksonville Jaguar defense was looking for. We told you they've been swarming, they've been trying to get to the football. David Boston, costly mistake. First and foremost, you have to protect the football.
Hugh Douglas got him by the shoelaces, and Boston now has gone under 100 yards. He was at 6 for 103. He's now 7 for 98. And look at the field position once again for the Jaguars. On the give, Taylor is brought down quickly. Ray Lee Johnson among those there. It's a loss of 1. AFC West standings. San Diego at 0-4, wow, looking up at Kansas City, Denver, and a disappointing Oakland team.
And they can get it done in so many ways, the Kansas City Chiefs. Offense, the defense is so much improved, but what a weapon is Dante Hall on their special teams.
Has a special teams guy ever gotten votes for MVP? That's a legitimate question.
I don't know, but see these three teams, they're all going to be there. Indianapolis can show us something tomorrow night when they face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Fred Taylor brought down from behind as Moreno lost his hat. And a 2-yard gain. Around the rest of the AFC in the East, Miami now 3-1 by virtue of their victory earlier against the Giants. Buffalo goes over 500 as they beat Cincinnati in overtime. New England 3-2. That's an impressive win today for the Patriots against Tennessee. And the Jets, well, they're still winless. They had a bye.
3-team race, and the Jets are hoping to get back in it. 0-4 does not keep you out of the playoffs, but you have to begin to really fix your problems on offense and defense.
High pass by Leftwich, and too high for Jimmy Smith as Terrence Keel was there defensively. Well, just one 0-4 team was able to come back and make the playoffs, win the division. It's San Diego that did it in 1992. They ripped off 11 wins in a matter of 12 weeks. We're just going from 1970 on.
That was an incredible year. I remember them going out, beating the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC Championship game. So It's been done, and you have to continue. As Marty Schottenheimer said, you have to play game by game and allow things to take place.
And a punt by Chris Hansen. And it's into the end zone. I think maybe the years were getting mixed up because that was the year San Diego won a first-round game but did not go to the Super Bowl. That was 1 year later,
right.
1994, and then
stand corrected.
Yeah, the loss to San Francisco, Steve Young.
That's right. But the point is well made that 0-4 certainly will not keep you out of the playoffs. So sooner or later, you got to get your act together.
And Marty Schottenheimer right now ripping into his team on the sideline as we tell you about two brothers, one kid, no grown-ups. Newsweek calls it the season's funniest new sitcom. Charlie Sheen stars in TV's most watched new comedy, 2.5 Men. It's Monday After Raymond on CBS. San Diego has turned it over 2 times after not fumbling the football in the first 4 weeks of the season. LaDainian Tomlinson has not been given the chance to do much here today. Just a 1-yard gain, his 8th carry, 33 yards today as Marcus Stroud makes the tackle. AFC North standings right now. Pittsburgh and Baltimore all even at 2-2. Cleveland 1-3 after losing to Cincinnati last week. And the Bengals fall in overtime today. They drop to 1-4.
And Pittsburgh can separate themselves from the field. They play Cleveland later tonight.
Breeze throwing. Dropped by Tim Dwight. It's getting ugly right now for San Diego.
Yeah, you have to maintain your focus and concentration. Drew Brees out there fighting, trying to make a play, getting the ball over to Tim Dwight, who has to make that reception. He catches that ball. He's 1 yard away from picking up the first down, and that's what you have to do. You have to begin to make plays so that the confidence can grow in the huddle, and then you can come back and win this football game.
28 yards of offense in this quarter for San Diego. This is a team that started off last year, let's not forget, 6-1. They seemed like a lock for the playoffs until falling apart in the second half of the year. David Boston extending the arms, and he's got himself a first down, beating James Trapp to the spot. A 9-yard gain, and Boston now is back over the 100-yard mark as we hit the end of the third quarter. Jacksonville 20, San Diego 7.
One tribe will steal the other's most valuable possession, and a life-and-death situation will leave you breathless.
I need help!
An all-new Survivor, CBS Thursday.
Charlie Sheen and John Cryer, 2.5 Men, CBS Monday.
Now we're Juan Kincaid on Channel 4's Eyewitness Sports.
Jaguars looking for their first win of the 2003 season. They lead it 20-7 as we start play in the fourth quarter here at Alltel Stadium. Ian Eagle, Solomon Wilcox, and our CBS crew on hand. Flags come down before Drew Brees can get his pass off.
False start. Number 89, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Penalty on David Boston with a false start. And a great night of television. CBS Monday begins with Yesteryear and Still Standing. Then the Emmy Award-winning Best Comedy, Everybody Loves Raymond, and the new hit comedy, 2.5 Men, followed by Monday's #1 drama, CSI Miami, plus an all-new Late Show with David Letterman. Monday here on CBS, America's most watched network. On a 1st and 15. Breeze, play fake. Breeze in some trouble, slings it out. Tomlinson slips down and loses yardage on the play. Hugh Douglas was the one that got to Drew Brees, forced him to get rid of it, a loss of 2.
Hugh Douglas just blew right by the left tackle, Damian McIntosh. He was right in the face of Drew Brees, forcing him to get rid of the football. Douglas came over, and he's working with these 2 young defensive tackles, Marcus Stroud, John Henderson, providing that leadership. He's been on some good football teams in his day. Come over from Philadelphia, and he provides that leadership in the locker room for young ball players.
And he's challenged those guys. He's basically asked them to their face, what do you want to be? What impression do you want to leave on the game, like guys did to him earlier in his career, like Shannon Sharp and Greg Lloyd? There's David Boston again. And extends the arm to the 30-yard line. Aiken Adele makes the stop. It's a 7-yard gain through the air.
Jack Del Rio understands what it means to have veteran ball players in your locker room who've had success in the National Football League. Hugh Douglas comes over, he poses that question to the young players, and then he monitors their work habits, their film study. Do you prepare during the week? And he's sort of that ever-watching eye for this defense, and particularly those young defensive linemen, and that's why you're seeing vast improvement.
And they gave Douglas a $6 million signing bonus. That doesn't hurt. Breeze in the pocket. Has some time, now forced out. Doesn't see the man coming. And gets rid of it. Tomlinson out of bounds. And LaDainian Tomlinson picks up just 2 yards. They needed more than that.
Yeah, it's just excellent coverage. If you force a team in 3rd and long, you can run your zone blitzes, your zone scheme. There was no one open down the field for the San Diego Chargers. The receivers couldn't get open. Forced Drew Brees to hold on to the football, then dump it off underneath to LaDainian Tomlinson.
Quick snap to Darren Bennett with David Allen waiting. Allen backpedals to the 20. Allen stays on his feet, runs into his own man, and then is forced backward. David Binn, the snapper, getting down the field in a hurry. Loss of 3 on the return. A 48-yard punt and a penalty marker back on San Diego's side of the field at the 35. Each team has been called on 6 penalties so far today. And another frustrating afternoon for Drew Brees.
Drew Brees is frustrated because he's playing well. He's played well all season. But when you have so many injuries to players around you, it's going to come back. You have so many injuries to the players around you, so many receivers shuffling in and out of the lineup. It makes it very difficult to perform consistently. Injuries on the offensive line with receivers and tight ends made it difficult.
12 men, defense, 5-yard penalty. We'll replay. 4th down. It's 12 men on the kicking team, excuse me.
Inexcusable. And I'm sure Marty Schottenheimer is over there telling his assistant coaches the same thing. You know, they do something right, and then they shoot themselves in the foot.
Well, when it goes bad, it goes real bad. And it is a major problem right now for San Diego as the losses continue to pile up. They are 0-4 and staring 0-5 in the face, trailing 20-7. 13 minutes to go in this football game. Allen will get another shot at it, has some room to work with from the 29. Allen cuts it up middle of the field and comes up just shy of the 40-yard line as Kasim Osgood gets down the field to make the play. Jack Del Rio asking the crowd to do their part. Right now, Jacksonville's in complete control. More NFL headlines. The Cowboys riding high. Bill Parcells, what a job. What a job he is doing. Elsewhere, in that game, Emmitt Smith, -1 rushing yards in his return to Dallas.
I think his comments got the Cowboys fired up.
A little bit. And the Bills hold off the Bengals to get the victory. I'm really wondering who's charging the 50 cents for our NFL news. Do you see that price in the corner?
Yeah, that's it, you know, NFL, big property.
It's costly. On a 1st and 10. Fred Taylor will double it back and now look for the opening, which will not develop. And no gain, maybe a half a yard on the play. Trying to keep you updated on standings around the NFL. NFC East now, Washington and Dallas. Amazingly enough, the Giants at Philadelphia were clearly the favorites going into the season.
Absolutely. No one would tell you that the Washington Redskins would be at the top. And for the Cowboys to be in it, 3-1 after 4 games, that's a tremendous surprise. But I don't think we should be that surprised knowing what the Tuna can do with a football team.
2nd and 10 right now for Jacksonville. Man in motion, Matthew Hatchett. Handoff, LeBrandon Tofield. And Tofield picks up a yard. Jerry Wilson and Donnie Edwards collaborate to bring him down. And Edwards shaken up after the play. NFC North standings. Minnesota remains undefeated. Mike Tice doing an outstanding job. Give credit because he's been knocked in the past handling that football team over the last couple of years. Green Bay at 3-2. Detroit and Chicago still looking to find their way.
And in Mike Tice's rookie year as a coach last year, they won their final 3 games of the year, led the league in rushing. So I think we could really see some signs of improvement toward the end of last year.
Out of the shotgun, Leftwich steps up, throws out of bounds, a rainbow delivery to the sideline, and Matthew Hatchett was in the area. Jacksonville will punt it. In the NFC South, Carolina 4-0. Leading the division over Tampa Bay. New Orleans has been a huge disappointment, and I guess the questions that were out there, Solomon, could Atlanta win without Michael Vick and Doug Johnson in there? No.
Well, those questions have been answered, but I think a great deal of responsibility have to lie with the defense. They've been very poor this year, and that's something no one had anticipated.
And Jacksonville will use a timeout. 11:23 to play in the fourth quarter. Jaguars still have 2 timeouts remaining, and they've got a 20-7 lead. In the NFC West, Seattle was considered, I would say, among the big surprises. Now 3-1, handed their first loss, and St. Louis at 2-2. How about San Francisco?
The 49ers are the biggest surprise. Turmoil in the locker room, the division. You get rid of a coach like Steve Mariucci, you better make the right decision. And I don't know that they made the right decision. I think it remains to be seen. But certainly Seattle was one of those teams that won their final 3 games of the season last year. So you could see signs of improvement. And Mike Holmgren has put together some talent there. Now they're coming of age, and they are a really good football team.
Jacksonville had 12 men on the field, and they noticed it before the snap, and that's why they took the timeout. Chris Hansen, low snap, and a high punt sailing to Eric Parker. He's going to return it wide from the 3, unless he can break one. Parker flagged down and brings it out across the 20-yard line, but a penalty marker as mentioned. Snapper Joe Zelenka making the stop on special teams. A 58-yard punt and a 20-yard return.
Everyone knows the rule. They don't want you to field a punt inside the 10-yard line. Parker fielded that punt inside the 5.
And it's irrelevant after the return by Parker.
Illegal block in the back. During the return, number 29, be half the distance to the goal. First down, timeout.
Drayton Florence called on the penalty. Jacksonville with the lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by DirecTV. Movies, music, and exclusive sports from the leader in digital satellite entertainment. Pizza Hut. Football and Pizza Hut, a winning combination. Gather round the good stuff. And by the Chrysler PT Cruiser. Customize your life.
Fourth quarter action from Jacksonville. The Jaguars 20, the Chargers 7. Both teams entering action at 0-4. Chicago already has gotten themselves out of the winless column, and the Jets remain as the only other winless team in the National Football League. Breeze with a 1st and 10 from the 3, and he connects with Tim Dwight for a 9-yard gain. Coming up tonight here on CBS, Catherine Morris stars in TV's most watched new drama. Don't miss Cold Case. That's tonight after 60 Minutes here on CBS. San Diego going with a no-huddle offense and facing a 2nd and 1. Breeze draw play. It's Tomlinson. First down. Out across the 15, a 4-yard gain. Scores from around the NFL today, and Philadelphia has taken the lead now on Washington as the Eagles look to put some of those negative thoughts out of their mind after the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, they're going to bounce back. And Donovan McNabb is playing well again, and more importantly, they're beginning to run the football in Philadelphia.
Other scores from around the NFL. Kansas City remains unbeaten as flags come down. Penalty markers came raining down as Breeze took the snap. San Diego 8 penalties so far today.
False start. Number 77 offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Well, if you're Marty Schottenheimer with all the experience, 18 as a head coach, this is what's got to disturb him more than anything else. They average more than 9 penalties per game.
And they had just worked themselves out of a hole. And then that penalty puts you right back in close to your own 10-yard line. Makes it very difficult to really mount a serious attack on offense.
Breeze on the screen for Tomlinson, breaks a tackle, and Tomlinson able to get to the outside and out of bounds at the 31-yard line, getting out of the grasp of Jason Kraft for a 20-yard pass play.
And now they've made a play, and now they have to avoid the mistakes, because they are very positive in terms of picking up yards when they can avoid the penalties and not move backwards. They have the weapons on this offense. They have a quarterback in Drew Brees who I think makes very good decisions, but he needs some help from his playmakers, particularly his offensive line.
Corey Raymer has now stepped in at right guard for San Diego. Brees getting rid of it as Hugh Douglas got to him. And it's incomplete.
Yeah, and see, this isn't a blitz play. This is just, look, he'll just blow right by 77 Damian McIntosh. This is a 4-man rush. And you've got 5 offensive linemen to block 4 defensive linemen, and you can't get them blocked up, can't allow your quarterback time to complete a pass. And that's just too bad for Drew Brees, because he's a guy that's fighting in there and trying to improve as a young player. But you can't make it happen if you don't have the protection from your offensive line.
Well, that's a bad sign for San Diego, because Jacksonville was not getting to the quarterback against anyone else.
Well, Hugh Green is getting hot. He understands he's got a man across from him that he can beat in Damian McIntosh.
Brees to David Boston. This is the one play that's worked for San Diego. It worked in the first half as T.J. Slaughter helps bring him down. Tony Bracken's involved as well. It's a 1-yard gain, and Jacksonville's just not falling for it anymore.
And Hugh Douglas, you know, he's a smaller defensive end. One way to slow him down is you have to run at it. You pull the guards and start to run and attack the perimeter. That'll slow him up, and I think it would help Damian McIntosh in his pass protection.
San Diego looking at a 3rd and 9. Here's Brees, pump fake, and Brees is sacked. This time it's Brackens. And a little Brackens boogie. 4th sack of the day for this Jacksonville defense.
Brackens is here working against Phil Bogle. He just takes the outside rush. You see him there. He passed him along. Bogle doesn't pick him up. Bogle blocks no one. He's looking outside, never turns inside to Tony Brackens. Brackens just walks straight to the quarterback and picks up a sack.
And another punt for Darren Bennett as we come up on 8 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. David Allen, returnable from the 33. Allen circling to the outside, flag down. And Allen is hit along that sideline as Bennett made his way downfield. Penalty marker on the play, 42-yard punt, 19-yard return, and this one is getting called back.
Well, if you block someone in the back, they're going to catch it. I think you and I could see it from up here.
Illegal block in the back. Number 41 during the return. Be a 10-yard penalty. First down.
Nick Sorensen called on the penalty. And we'll step aside. 7:59 left. Jacksonville up big. Injury update for San Diego. Bob Hallen, a sprained pectoral muscle. And that's why Corey Raymer stepped in on that last possession for the Chargers. Right now, it's a 1st and 10 for Jacksonville. Already leading it 20-7, and Leftwich is sacked. Byron Leftwich brought down by Ray Lee Johnson. And a loss of 9 on the play. Tuesday on CBS, everyone thinks this Navy commander died in a drug deal gone bad, except Navy NCIS. Mark Harmon stars in the new hit series from the creator of Jag. Don't miss an all-new Navy NCIS. Tuesday at 8, 7 Central, here on CBS. 2nd and 19, 7:34 and counting left in the 4th quarter. Jacksonville 0-4 for just the second time in team history. The other year was 1995, their inaugural season. Leftwich to throw. Mark Edwards, the fullback, catches and tackled at the 23-yard line by Ben Lieber. It's a 5-yard gain. Undefeated teams, Kansas City, Minnesota, Indianapolis, and Carolina, still perfect.
And who's the best of them all? You got to give it to Kansas City right now. They're red hot, winning 5 straight, but winning in different fashions, whether it's by special teams, offense, and even the defense has improved from last year.
Injury on the field, and it's Ben Lieber who made the tackle on that play. And will break away with 6:58 left in the fourth.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Be you. Nothing's better. Dr. Pepper. And by Old Navy Painter's Pants. They'll work for you.
Back here in Jacksonville, 20-7. Do not attempt that, please, especially in a mascot suit, as Ben Lieber appears to be okay. Walking it off following the play he made on Mark Edwards. And Jacksonville facing a 3rd and long from the 23-yard line. Lieber now in his 2nd year from Kansas State, a surprise starter as a rookie. Physical linebacker.
Had a good year as a rookie,
Sure
but he's
did.
one of those young linebackers along with Zeke Moreno who's looking to gain some experience. And Marty Schottenheimer said when teams motion on us and sort of change the picture before the snap of the football, that's where we become a little bit confused, and they've been susceptible to misdirection plays and have been caught out of position many times so far this season.
No substitute for Lieber. They'll go with 2 linebackers and 5 defensive backs on this 3rd and 14 play fake. Leftwich to Edwards again. Mark Edwards turning it upfield and coming up short of a first down. It is the most watched new drama of the season. Cold Case. Tonight after 60 minutes. Catherine Morris stars here on CBS. Timeout. San Diego uses one. They have 2 remaining. And we've gotten the emails, we've gotten the faxes. The people have spoken. The wisdom of Solomon. Let's take a look.
Well, it is the wisdom of Solomon. We asked 3 basic questions. Whatever happened to good player conduct, Ian? And is Bill Parcells a quarterback's best friend? Let's ask Quincy Carter. And after a bad start, could Philly be this year's turnaround team? Now, they're all good questions. We'll try to provide some good answers as the game continues.
Well, player conduct. Try to tackle that one in 15 seconds or less.
Well, you know, it was Paul Brown who said all players are needed, but no one is necessary. It takes teams to win football games.
So your take on Terrell Owens, was he out of bounds?
You either get in shape, absolutely out of bounds. It's subordinate behavior. Certainly you don't want to show up a coach, and you don't want to show up any of your football players.
The punt from Chris Hansen, it rolls to the sideline inside the 30. And that's where San Diego will have it. Another reminder that tonight on CBS, 60 minutes before going to prison for insider trading, Martha Stewart's friend Sam Waxel bared his soul to Steve Kroft. That's tonight on 60 Minutes. Then TV's most watched new drama, Cold Case, followed by the CBS Sunday movie Blessing, starring Mary Tyler Moore. Right here on CBS, America's most watched network. 20-7, Jacksonville leading San Diego. The Chargers appear on their way to an 0-5 start. Back in 2000, they started the season 0-11 and finished 1-15. David Boston continues to add to his receiving numbers, his 11th catch of the day. And Boston has come back, and his presence has been felt. It has not translated onto the scoreboard. 136 yards. And a touchdown, 11 receptions.
And this is what Drew Brees is capable of. He's a very accurate thrower. He can make plays when you give him time to throw the football.
That's a new career high for Boston. 11 catches. 5:35 left to play in the fourth. Brees Out of the gun, steps up, sideline route. And it's Boston again. To the 41-yard line of Jacksonville. 12 yards through the air.
And Jacksonville has to be careful. They play tremendous defense on the last possession. They have to continue to come up the field, get pressure, and don't play that soft zone, allowing Boston to catch everything underneath, and they're just picking up yards by the chunks.
Well, we talked about it at the top of the show. San Diego needs the balance, and they have not gotten the running game going because they were down on the scoreboard. 10 carries for Tomlinson, 38 yards. It just never materialized, and that's the blueprint for some of these losses this season for San Diego. Breeze keeps it himself and scampers across the 30-yard line. Another Charger first down as the clock continues to roll.
And it really doesn't help the offensive line to protect the quarterback when everyone in the stadium know that you have to throw the football in order to get back into the football game. And so the defense, they can just come back and go after your quarterback when they know you have to throw it.
Time ticking off the clock. 4:32 and count. And Breeze did not get the snap. Because of a false start.
False start. 66 offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Corey Raymer, who has stepped in for Bob Hallen, who stepped in for Solomon Page.
So they're working on their third right guard. We talked about the problems with offensive line. You have so many injuries, so many different players. Very hard to have any kind of cohesion and chemistry amongst your 5 offensive linemen.
Shotgun for Breeze. 1st and 15. Breeze zings one, incomplete. David Boston, intended receiver. Let's go to New York. NFL Today update.
All right. Thank you, Ian. Solomon, let's go back to you.
And that is not the same highlight we play over and over each week. Those are different highlights for all. He just does the same thing.
It's like he's breaking kneecaps.
Breeze throwing. Up in the air. Caught. Eric Parker. Touchdown, San Diego.
And we told you, if you give Drew Brees the time to throw the football, he'll deliver. This was a perfect throw to Eric Parker up top. They get behind the secondary. They don't get the pressure on him, so he stands in the pocket, gets comfortable, and look at James Trapp. He's in trouble because Eric Parker gets behind him and makes the touchdown grab.
And Solomon, let's not forget this. These two teams have found ways to lose this season. To say this game is over would be silly.
It certainly would, because both defenses have given up games late in the 4th quarter.
Steve Christie with the extra point. Jacksonville seemed to be in control last week against Houston before a Byron Leftwich fumble led to a Texans victory, 24-20.
Yeah, Eric Parker just comes across the formation. He's lined up to the left of the screen. You see him streaking down the middle of the field. Drew Brees in the progression. He finds him getting behind James Trapp, and he's able to make the grab. See, he's in the slot here. You have cover 2, and so he'll just streak right down the middle of the field, and Trapp isn't able to stay with him as he comes underneath. Look at him. He's between both safeties, and that's where Drew Brees finds him in the corner of the end zone, getting behind that zone cover 2 defense.
Still plenty of time left. 4:19. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. And Drew Brees has gotten his team back into this football game. Let's have another chat with Jim Nantz as we head back to New York.
All right, thank you, guys. Another one of the updates today. The Bears have what both the Jags and the Chargers covet. That's a first win of the season. Paul Ettinger with the winner at the gun from 48 yards out. Cordell Stewart rallies them from 15 down for their first win of the season, knocking out the Raiders today. Let's go back to you.
And major issues for the Oakland Raiders. Can they get old that quickly? That seems to be the theme around the NFL. They've just gotten old in a hurry.
Well, you see Bill Romanowski's missing games for the first time in his career, and I don't know if Tim Brown and Jerry Rice can get deep like they once have. And even last year, I thought Joey Porter was the guy who really was their deep threat wide receiver. With him out, I think the other guys are really exposed to their lack of speed.
They clearly missed Jerry Porter. You're right. David Allen is stacked up as he hit the 25-yard line, and now San Diego is feeling like they can make a move with 4:15 left. Marty Schottenheimer is going to ask his defense to come up big. 20-14, Jacksonville leading the Chargers.
Well, there's still some fight in this San Diego Chargers football team. And this is where Jacksonville was at last week playing the Houston Texans. They were driving, looking to try to put that game away. Byron Leftwich fumbled the ball, then the Texans took over and scored on the final play of the football game.
First ever meeting between these two teams. Handoff, it's Fred Taylor. Bounces off the initial crowd, and second effort leaves him at the 30-yard line. A 3-yard gain as Moreno and Wiley are there to stop him, and some boos from this Jaguar crowd.
The crowd's a little uncomfortable, saying, hey, what was that? But I think it's the right thing to do. We talked about how well this offensive line have blocked so far in this game for Jacksonville. They've really dominated, and so you want to run out the clock, you want to move the chains, not give the ball back to San Diego. You run the football. Fred Taylor now 26 carries, 83 yards, and this is where you get him over the top with 30 or more carries in this game.
Has not put up big numbers, though, in this second half. As the play clock is winding down. 9 carries, 11 yards for Taylor before that attempt since halftime. And Zeke Moreno again in on the tackle. That's a 4-yard gain. A reminder that 60 Minutes is coming up next, except on the West Coast. Here on CBS, a great night of television upcoming. San Diego uses a timeout with Jacksonville in front, 20-14, 3:22 left. We head back to New York and Jim Nantz.
All right, guys, you're talking about 60 Minutes coming up. They had to go beyond 60 minutes today up at Orchard Park. Overtime, and the Bills win it with Travis Henry scoring from 2 yards out. He missed last week. He was back today, and the Bills end a 2-game losing streak. Back to you.
I feel like we're getting our own personal NFL update show from Jim Nantz right
Thanks,
now.
Jim.
We just go back. He gives us another highlight from the earlier games, and we get back focused on this one.
Well, it's nice to know what's going on around the league, and you need to know, I think, even some of the players who are in the middle of games, particularly as you get into December, to understand what's going on elsewhere, because there's so much parity in the National Football League. These teams aren't getting much distance between each other.
And a huge third down right now with 3:22 left. San Diego has 1 timeout remaining. Line of scrimmage is the 34. Leftwich to put it in the air. Throws, low throw, caught by Taylor. Can he get to the marker? Diving forward. And Fred Taylor, it will depend on the spot of the football.
Well, he caught it, and then he came back 2 yards before he got turned up the football field. It's going to depend on the spot.
Clock is stopped with 3:03 left. Jacksonville looking to extend this drive and use more of the clock and trying to get Jack Del Rio his first win as a head coach. It is very tight as they will measure.
I think it may be just a little bit short. If it's first down, it's not going to be by more than the nose of the football.
They extend it. And a favorable spot.
More than what I thought. Absolutely.
So Jacksonville now can use more of that clock. San Diego has the 2-minute warning to stop it and 1 timeout as Marty Schottenheimer is shouting instructions from the sideline.
Yeah, he's telling his defense, tear at the football, rake it out, create a fumble. That's what they need. And if you're Jacksonville, you have to know they're going after the football. Protect the football. Look to break off a big one, because they're not trying to tackle you. They're trying to strip it.
2 teams thirsting for a win, both 0-4. Down to 2:42 left. It's Fuamatu Ma'afala. And he is brought down after a spin. 2-yard gain. Lassiter and Johnson there defensively. San Diego uses its final timeout and stops the clock with 2:36 left here in the 4th. Back to New York. Here's Jim Nantz.
All right, Ian Solomon, here we continue your personal updates. The Titans fall to the Patriots today. They were able to reinstate a running back at New England. They were able to send in the cloud for a couple of touchdowns in the second half. And Ty Law picked off McNair late and ran it back for a score. Both teams are now 3-2. You talk about parity. Let's go back to you.
That's a heck of a win. Tennessee, a team that you have to consider among the upper echelon in the AFC. New England, question marks because of all of their key losses injury-wise, and it's the Pats that are able to pull it off at home.
And everyone here in Jacksonville happy to see that score. In the AFC South, Tennessee, one of those teams that could run away with it. And if you're Jacksonville, you want to see them take a step backwards as you try to get your first win of the season.
2:36 left. A 2nd and 8 for Jack Del Rio's team. Mark Brunell in a different role as a spectator, the number 3 quarterback today, because of an injured left elbow. Fuamatu Ma'afala remains in there, hurdling his way for a 1-yard gain. To the 40-yard line, Kwame Lassiter again in on the stop as the clock is rolling. San Diego with no timeouts left. They do have the 2-minute warning to stop the clock.
Now, yeah, this is an important call. You have 3rd and 7, and do you kind of pick the 2-minute warning? Do you run the ball and just go ahead and say, hey, if you can't pick it up, run it, then you go ahead and play it? Or do you try to throw the ball, advance it, pick up the first down? Because if you do, good chance this game will be over.
Well, looking at it from a time standpoint, if the Jaguars run it and San Diego stops them, they would take it to the 1-minute 10-second mark. Marty Schottenheimer is hoping that Drew Brees and the offense get a chance and get the football back. A reminder that 60 minutes is coming up next, except on the West Coast. Huge 3rd down with 2 minutes to go. Out of the shotgun, Leftwich will throw it. Short pass brought in by Taylor. Explodes through the hole. Fred Taylor takes it the distance. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Game over. Losing streak over. Jack Del Rio's going to get his first win as a head coach.
It is the proverbial nail in the coffin for the San Diego Chargers. They don't get out in front. They don't rally to the football. Every man is blocked, and Fred Taylor, look, he'll just walk in. Quentin Jammer will try to catch him, but he's not going to.
60 yards. All they were looking for was the first down. If they got the first down, the game was over anyway. Instead, it turns into a 60-yard pass and catch.
Well, you have to give Jacksonville credit. They made the plays they needed to on both offense and defense, both sides of the ball, showing great confidence in their young quarterback. It's just a screen play over to the right side. Chris Neoli, 65, he's out in front, and there you see the block that springs Fred Taylor, and from there he just walks right into the end zone. There's no one there to come and pick him up. Brad Meester, the center, he'll come out front. Chris Neoli, they'll block, and he'll just drift here. Then he'll hit the seam because he's patient and he waits for his lineman. Brad Meester, Chris Neoli, they get out in front, and watch, he'll just bide his time, and boom, and then he explodes through the secondary. Quentin Jammer is in chase, but he's not going to catch Fred Taylor until he gets to the end zone.
Combination for Fred Taylor, 164 total yards. The numbers on Byron Leftwich, 19 of 28, 336 yards through the air, and 2 touchdowns for the rookie from Marshall. Put it on the ground with 1:46 left to play. Jesse Chapman to the sideline, out of bounds. 27-14. Jacksonville's going to win its first game of the year. Back to Jim Nantz in New York.
All right, the year. And yes, Dan Marino was at the game. Let's go back to you two.
That's good to note. Oh, there he is, Dante. What is the shelf life on jerseys like that? How many years after a guy retires are you allowed to wear the jersey?
You know, you're a good player such as he, you can break it out anytime you want.
Drew Brees, too high for David Boston, 1:36 left. Well, the Jacksonville came in having dropped 13 of their last 16 games overall, 4 straight at home, 6 consecutive overall. They have suffered through 3 straight losing seasons, changing the direction of the team with a new head coach, a new quarterback.
I think just gutsy decision making by a young head coach such as Jack Del Rio to go with the young quarterback, Byron Leftwich, over the incumbent such as Mark Brunell. It shows tremendous confidence in the young football player. And Byron Leftwich has rewarded his coach, going to get his first win as a pro NFL starting quarterback.
Boston could not get to the sideline. 13 catches, 168 yards for him. And they spike the football to stop the clock, and a scrum breaks out.
That is a scrum. I've seen a scrum or two.
Bodies being pushed around as the officials try to get involved with 1:18 left. And the game is already decided. Standings in the AFC East. Miami top of the heap at 3-1, followed by Buffalo and New England, and the Jets, along with San Diego, will remain the only winless teams in the NFL. AFC North, things are tight there. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. Bengals are an improved football team and almost won their second game earlier today. Shotgun. Bree steps up. Rainbow delivery to the sideline. Tim Dwight. And he was out of bounds. Let's update you on the AFC South. We will give Jacksonville the victory to go to 1-4. With Indianapolis, Tennessee, and Houston all playing 500 or better. And San Diego drops to 0-5 in the AFC West. Kansas City remains unblemished at 5-0. Denver suffers its first loss, and Oakland now under 500 at 2-3.
The Raiders have to decide which way they're going to go, up or down, because those other teams, Denver and Kansas City, are vastly improved over last season.
60 minutes coming up after the game, except on the West Coast. 1:10 left. Breeze steps up and fires. Wide open Tim Dwight. And Dwight is tackled at the 25-yard line as the clock is moving. Under a minute to go now. Here in the fourth, a 23-yard pass play. And Breeze spikes the football. The executive producers of the NFL on CBS, Sean McManus and Tony Petitti. The coordinating director, Larry Cavallina. Today's game produced by Bob Dekas, directed by Suzanne Smith. Senior producer of CBS Sports and the NFL Today, Eric Mann. Director is Bob Matina. Coordinating producer of CBS Sports, Harold Ryan. Associate director of today's game, Ryan Galvin. Broadcast associate, John Paquette. Technical manager, Rick Godwin. Technical director, Chris Romanek. Audio supervisor, Dave Grunvik. Among so many others helping to get us on the air here today. 2nd and 10. Breeze. Home run ball is over the head of David Boston in a matchup with Donovan Darius. 48 seconds remain in the fourth. Something Byron Leftwich told us in our meeting, Solomon. If they get a win, he believes they can start steamrolling, and they have 3 consecutive home games beginning with this one. Miami and Tennessee, 2 tough teams coming up on the schedule, but right here at Alltown.
Yeah, and when you met with Jack Del Rio and many other players on this football team, you didn't get a sense of desperation. They knew they were going to get Jimmy Smith back. He came in saying, hey, I'm ready to contribute right away, and they felt like had they had Jimmy Smith for the first 4 weeks of the season, that they would not be 0-4. So this is a team that's improving week by week.
Breeze guns it up in the air, and game over. Intercepted by Rashean Mathis. Drew Brees got clobbered by Donovan Darius, and flags came down. So some theatrics in the final minute of play here in Jacksonville.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 20 with a hit to the head. First down.
Let's take a look. Donovan Darius coming in from that safety position up the top, hitting the head. I don't know that that's blatant in terms of a foul, but you cannot hit the quarterback in the head. But he was faced up. He didn't duck his head. He didn't spear. It was helmet to helmet, but he kept his face up as he was running to make a tackle on the quarterback. I don't think that he should duck and go low on the quarterback and risk injuring his legs either.
Well, instead of a pick ending the game, San Diego has it with a 1st and 10 in the red zone and broken up. Good sliding play by James Trapp. to make sure Tim Dwight didn't get the touchdown.
Now that's just great poise by Trapp on that play, because he was beaten over the middle by Tim Dwight, but he recovered, showed tremendous poise and making the dive and timing up the pass, and was able to get his right hand on it and knock it down.
36 seconds remain. Marty Schottenheimer's team drops to 0-5. Schottenheimer went through this with the Washington Redskins 2 years ago. His team started 0-5. They ended up going 8-3 the rest of the way.
Well, you know Marty's going to keep coaching. He's continuing to coach in this game.
Breeze fired. Whoa. Jarring blow. Kasim Osgood just got stamped on the play. Rashean Mathis celebrating.
Osgood wishing that the interception would have held up.
Take a listen. Ooh.
Wow. That'll clear the cobwebs. Sinuses, if you got a cold, you have one no longer.
And some blood on the top of the nose of Drew Brees, probably from that hit from Darius. 25 seconds left. Brees on the run, throwing. Back of the end zone, it's Boston. Touchdown, San Diego. Second of the day for David Boston. A 13-yard scoring strike, and again, this game is not over with 20 seconds remaining.
Well, Brees is staying with it. Boston also continued to stay with it, working in the back of the end zone. He's matched up with Mathis, number 27. You see, they turn him loose. Mathis is playing in front. That's what you're supposed to do. But don't turn and look back. See, keep your eyes on him so he loses his vision on Boston. Boston stays with the play and is able to make the reception for a touchdown.
20 seconds remain. San Diego down 27-21. Here's the irony of all ironies. If you're Jacksonville, and this is one of those things as we take another look at the touchdown. Solomon, if Fred Taylor does not go into the end zone for the touchdown on the pass, the game is over, because San Diego has no timeouts remaining, and Jacksonville could have taken a knee twice.
Well, if you get a chance to score, points on the board is always helpful. But anytime you get the touchdown, you take the touchdown. They're going to get the ball now. Of course, it's going to be an onside kick. You have to secure it. But they could have put the game away with the interception. Had not they got the penalty on Donovan Darius, game's over there also. So anytime you get a chance to score, you go ahead and do that. And then you worry about the rest later on.
2 occasions, though, the game would have been over, finished. And right now, with 20 seconds left, Jacksonville still has to make a play to hold on.
Well, they had to make a play on defense as well. And they did make a play and had it taken away because of the hit by Donovan Darius.
Fair point.
They could have also made the play on David Boston before he caught it in the end zone. And so you win games, yes, by making plays. The game's not over. Even though he scores the touchdown, you have to continue to play.
Steve Christie will attempt the onside kick. The hands team on the field for Jacksonville, standing at the 40-yard line, waiting. 20 seconds remain. Jacksonville with a 27-21 lead. Here we go. Christie bounce it in the air and caught cleanly. Nick Sorensen brings it in, and now game over.
Yeah, you're going to have to make a play. It's an onside kick. Nick Sorensen, he attacks that ball. That's why he's on the hands team. Sure hands. He gets that possession, and this game's over.
Jacksonville, first home win since November of 2002, and they are getting the liquid ready for Jack Del Rio, who does have a very nice hairdo. That's going to do major damage.
I'm sure he doesn't mind.
Leftwich takes it in. Look out. Bryan and Smith, they're chasing after him. And he didn't see it coming. First win of the Jack Del Rio era. And congratulations come from Marty Schottenheimer, the man that cut him as a member of the Kansas City Chiefs dating back to 1989. Coming up tonight here on CBS, 60 Minutes, followed by Cold Case, and then the CBS Sunday movie Blessing, starring Mary Tyler Moore. That's tonight. Great night of television here on CBS. For Solomon Wilcox, this is Ian Eagle saying so long from Alltel Stadium. 27-21, Jacksonville wins it over San Diego. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.